Who's gonna pay for my kids? Not us if we don't have custody. I'm just saying, Kentucky just passed a law that is really changing the game when it comes to divorce and child support. Let's get straight off into this.
So Kentucky just shocked the nation with a 25% drop in divorces. But the question, of course, is how and what exactly changed within the past few years? Well, back in 2018, Kentucky became the first state to flip the script when it came to custody. You see, instead of automatically giving the mom primary custody and dad every other weekend Disney dad role, as many of you have seen over and over again, the law made 50-50 custody the default. Unless there's proof of real abuse or neglect, the court starts from equal parenting time. Here's why that's important. The more time dad spends with his kids, the less he will have to pay in child support. Before, divorces often meant that the mom walks away with the kid and a big child support check. After the law, that's not guaranteed anymore. Now critics, mostly women's groups, say this is unfair.
It's not fair. He should have to pay me child support and I should get the kids all the time and he should get supervised visits. No. 50-50 custody. I think this is fair. If we had to go half in on the baby to make it, I think it's only fair I get half custody, bro. Chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. If you had to go half with me to make this baby, I think it makes only sense that I get half the baby's time as well.
They argue that some mothers feel trapped in bad marriages, even abusive ones, because they worry that dad will get half custody even if they divorce. And judges have been accused of ignoring abuse claims, all because the father didn't directly lay hands on the child. But here's the other side. Men see this as finally fair. Husbands say the system no longer rewards the wife for filing for a divorce just to get custody and child support. Instead, both parents have to share time, share responsibility, and share costs. So what Kentucky did was take out the financial incentive to blow up a marriage. And for a lot of men, that's exactly why they call this a win.
Divorce rates are dropping in Kentucky. I went there to figure out why. In 2018, Kentucky became the first state to make 50-50 shared custody the default. That means that children split their time equally between both parents, and fathers pay less in child support.
I think this is a good thing, though. But I look back on when my mom divorced my dad, and my dad was higher than pelican pussy. My dad was smoking it all. If you could put it in rock form and smoke it, my dad was doing it. So it was, it's like, I don't know, this could be bad, this could be good. But in my opinion, if you're a woman, you really got to be careful on the men that you're getting with, bro. There was a study that was done by the 10 Men. I don't know if I've talked about this one. 1,700 studies showing domestic violence is not gendered. So going back to that the guy from the coffee pot, I've never seen him before. But talking about like abuse and, I got hurt and this and that. They did, this was, tons of different studies. 200 studies, summarized 249 studies, a bibliography of 340. There's a lot of studies that were done. 1,700 studies on domestic violence. It basically shows that it's not gendered. 23% of women experienced abuse, 19% of men experienced abuse. However, rates of female perpetrated violence were higher than male perpetrated, 28% to 21%. Bidirectional versus unidirectional violence. 57.9% of reported domestic violence was bidirectional. They were both doing it. Y'all both hitting on each other. Y'all some diabolical beings there. 28% said she did it. 13% was unidirectional male to female violence. So basically, this is by the 10 Men. You can find them on IG. Basically talking about how this abuse is not gendered. So like this, to me, this whole song and dance, this whole story, it's played out. And women call this card a lot of times when I don't think most dudes are putting hands on their women. I could be wrong. But from that study alone, it shows that a lot of women are putting their hands on men. But men aren't necessarily just hitting their wives in droves. Maybe in the 50s, I don't know, I wasn't alive. They always say that old school stuff, maybe it was different. But we got boomers that watch here, a lot of boomers that are married. Y'all putting your hands on your ladies? I feel like not. I know Russia and Putin just enacted the law, the rule of thumb, where if the stick ain't big as a thumb, you can hit her. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's right. I don't think violence anyway is right. Don't hit your spouse. You married your spouse because you love them, not because you want to hit them. But that's just my 2 cents on that. I wanted to show you guys. I felt like it was relevant.
The more time that they spend with their children. Before that, judges decided custody based on what they called the best interest of the child. Fathers said that usually relegated them to an every other weekend arrangement, the so-called Disneyland dad effect, while mothers got to spend most of the time with their children. Since the law passed, divorce rates have dropped. Between 2016 and 2023, divorces in the state fell 25%.
Wow.
compared to 18% nationwide. It's hailed as a victory for fathers' rights, but the story is more complicated. Some critics of the law say that people are staying in abusive marriages because they're afraid of leaving their children alone with a parent with a history of violence.
Isn't it crazy to me? Almost every bad man that a woman's been with, he's a narcissist. He's a toxic, misogynist, controlling, insecure. Isn't it a little weird that they all throw out the same terms for all of us men? Come on, dude.
One mom told me that her husband nearly killed her in 2023.
Now, I bet that stuff does happen, and I've watched a lot of true crime. A lot of times it's the dudes doing it.
Filed criminal charges and he was arrested. But less than 2 weeks after he got out of jail, a judge awarded him 50% custody of their son, indicating that the abuse wasn't a factor since he didn't lay hands on the child. The law has become a model for other states. Arkansas, West Virginia, Florida, and Missouri have passed their own versions of the
Texas, we need it next, baby. Come on.
equal custody presumption. Around 20 other states are considering it.
I'm telling you, bro, once this gets passed, you'll see divorce rates plummet. You'll see moms staying with their kids a whole lot more. Like, you'll see this stuff happen, man, where women will stop weaponizing men with divorce. Because you got to think about it right now. If us as guys, think about this, La La Land, think about this. If us as men knew that we could get with a chick, knock her up, and if we got unhappy, we could take the kid and then the woman would pay us a check every month, I bet there's a lot of men that would go out there and do that. It's free money. It's easy. It's easier than Morgan & Morgan. Filing a claim, it's free, you know? It's so easy. And so women weaponize divorce. And chat, put a one in the chat if you agree. Women, I'm not saying all women, women will weaponize divorce just to get back at the dude. Just to get back at him, take some of his money, spite him. Maybe she's just not, you know, I'm just not aroused by him anymore. It just doesn't make my giny tingle anymore. I don't get the butterflies. Maybe that's the case. Which in that case, it's terrible. You know, work through it. Go to therapy. Do it for the kids. You know, back in my day, people used to stay together for the kids. Now they don't even stay together for the kids. As soon as they get unhappy, they just leave the marriage. And in my opinion, as an adult, some things are just going to be unhappy. And you got to work through this stuff. Cass and I, when we got married, we said it's death over divorce, and we agreed. Death over divorce. We didn't say those vows lightly, but we also dated for 8 years before we got engaged and married. 8 years. I believe it was 7 years we were dating. We got engaged, and a year after that, we got married. And the thing is, what I love about Cass, we did it at the courthouse. She didn't have to have the big old gallantry. She didn't have to have any of that. We did have a baby shower, and if you want to see that, go to Levi Nichs on IG, and I put up a video of it. I did a big engagement, I did a big baby shower, and we haven't done anything else. But to me, it's like, if you really love each other, you don't need the pageantry. I don't know, Chad, am I way off base on that? If you really love somebody, you're just going to go to the courthouse and get it done. Oh, she fought so hard and got, you know, nothing in
She
return.
fought so hard so that this man doesn't get 50-50, and she's screaming around about how she's so happy that she's got primary physical custody because she was looking at the $61,000. And she said, if I
$61,000 a year or $61,000 a month?
can get primary physical custody, then I can get access. I already got the kids, and now the kids allow me to tap in to $61,000. And when the
61 grand a month. That's a lot of cash.
arbitrator says, fine, I will give you the kids. She's like, yeah. And then the arbitrator says, okay, and I'm gonna give you $4,000, more than your kids need, $4,000 a month in child support. And y'all saw her reaction. She said, this is oh, come on. And look at Brian, like, maybe this one, I don't really care either way. Is it really This is such.
I love it. I love it. Now this financial burden's all on me. For anybody wondering who this is a reality TV star by the name of Erica Mena. Gold digger extraordinaire. Goodness gracious, how far we've fallen from God's grace. Ain't that right, Loki? I've fallen at work and been injured. Oh, wait. I should call my lawyer.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan.
Hey, John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. It's Levi Nichs of YouTube. Can I get some cash, please?
Morgan and 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 Morgan.
Did you know that your injury could be worth millions of dollars? Morgan & Morgan is the largest injury law firm in America, and they've recovered over $20 billion for their clients. $20 billion? That's a lot of cash. The insurance companies tried to lowball me, but Morgan & Morgan was able to take my pain and suffering and turn it into cold, hard cash. It's almost a good thing I was injured. But wait. How much is Morgan & Morgan gonna cost me? You never owe them legal fees unless they're successful. So it's completely free unless you win? Yeah. Hiring a lawyer, that sounds like really difficult. It's actually super easy. You can just go to their website, and in a couple clicks, you can find out if you have a case. And you can literally do it from your smartphone. And remember, there is only one Morgan & Morgan. Wait, but it's two names though. How is it? Give me the script. Oh, both their last names. Okay, I get it. Okay, roll it. You can start your claim today by going to forthepeople.com/Levi, found in the description below. So if you're injured, you can trust Morgan & Morgan. Y'all know what time it is. Loki knows what time it is, don't you, buddy? Free. Sit. Wait. Such a cute boy he is. Isn't that right, buddy? Can we get some freeze in the chat? Free. Go your place. He never lets me pet him, dude. Like when I give him a treat, he's like, don't touch me. He's like, do not touch me. I don't want to be messed with. I don't want to be touched. Such a fickle pickle he is, dude. Let's get back into this. Uh-oh.
That say you online. That say
okay, gee, I'm sorry, chat. 15 times.
We're gonna be people online that say you didn't get married because he wanted you to sign a prenup.
Correct. So why did you
Gold digger.
Gotcha, bitch.
not just sign the prenup?
In that moment, it was, I'd rather walk away from something knowing that I chose myself than to spend the rest of my life not being loved the way that I love somebody.
Translation, I want to take his money and virtue signal while I do it.
Somebody.
Yep.
Does anyone else find it funny or even a little strange that the second Kentucky added laws for, equality and child support and custody cases during divorce, the suddenly divorce rates dropped 25%?
Yeah, it's because women weaponize divorce and child support. Bruh, come on. It's a side hustle. It's like Section 8, you know what I mean? It's like living off the government. It's like, I can get a free check. I can go get new pee-pee, get bucked by a new guy. He'll give me a check for the kiddo. They'll stay with me. He'll be a Disneyland dad. See him on the weekends. It's a win-win for women. They're incentivized to divorce their husbands.
It's almost like a lot of these women were only filing for divorce because they knew that they were going to win no matter what the circumstances were, right? Like, you could literally be a cheating tramp that has kids with other men, and you're still going to get half. Not anymore. Now it's like, all right, we got to look at the case and see who's actually better for the kids, who can, has a place to provide for them and can actually, give them a stable environment. Not, okay, well, so you get the kids, and well, since the man works, he's gonna pay for it. That's not how that works anymore. And I just think it's funny that the second they enact this, the rates drop. It's almost like if women can't have their life subsidized by their ex, they're more willing to try to make things work. And don't be like, but women are staying in abusive relationships. 71% of abuse isn't unilateral, meaning at least 7 out of 10 victims simply lost the fight they started. Not trying to cheapen what real victims go through, just saying that most of you aren't that. And rare cases don't, justify the whole. So,
I mean, hey, the kid's cooking with grease. He's cooking with fish grease, you know what I mean? He knows what he's talking about. He's looked it up. He's done the research. He knows what he's freaking talking about.
My last relationship, we broke up because he asked me to marry him, but then he asked me to sign a prenuptial agreement, and I
Wait, aren't you a corn star?
said absolutely not. I think that's bogus. I'm not gonna sign a piece of paper that says that if you leave me, I get nothing. Like, no, I think that I should have half of everything that you've worked your entire life for.
Jesus.
She's a runner, she's a track star.
I think I saw her on a Charleston White interview. I think this is the same chick.
And I think that's fair.
I didn't date you for your money. I fell in love with your heart.
Well, then just sign the prenup and let this love story begin.
Love stories don't begin with prenups.
This one does.
Women don't need men for money.
Oh.
Statistics show single women own more houses than single men.
Yeah, from divorce.
The most shocking prenup I've ever seen, which was enforceable, had a provision that said that for every 10 pounds the wife gained in the marriage, she would lose $10,000 a month in alimony. He was very concerned that she was going to become less attractive, and he was going
We call that a dependopotamus, chat. Shots fired! Ever heard of that one? It's mainly with military wives. You know, military wives, they marry these men, they sit at home all day and do absolutely nothing. And they become a dependopotamus. They gain about 100 pounds, maybe 75 pounds, and they look completely unrecognizable. And they sit at the house and do nothing. Dependopotamus, word of the day.
to become more wealthy. So his solution to this was in the prenuptial agreement. He wanted a clause that said if they divorced, she was going to get like $70,000 a month for alimony. But for every 10 pounds she gained from the date of marriage, she would forfeit $10,000 a month worth of alimony. And it was designed to sort of create an incentive that she would remain thin. And that was enforceable, meaning they tried to challenge and set aside that provision. And the court said, this is a disgusting provision. I don't know why you married this person, but it's enforceable. It's a contract. The two of you signed it, and you had a right to sign it, and you agreed to these rules, and they may be ridiculous rules, but you agreed to them. And you have...
I was talking to the Dadvocate. Shout out to the Dadvocate, by the way. I was talking to her, and she brought up the point that a lot of these, because she's been through the family court system, she kind of knows what it's all about, but she talked about how some of these prenups aren't even enforceable. Some of them you can just get them voided out, you know, and it's like nothing you can really do. So I don't know. It's crazy to think that that dude was doing the 10-pounder thing. She became a big back, and yeah, no more free lunches when you're a big back. No alimony, you know. And it's weird to me that the divorce rates have dropped so much off of that one little provision. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that wild how that works like that, chat? We de-incentivize them to want to get divorced, and yeah, it's like they don't want to get divorced anymore. Isn't that weird? In my opinion, dude, I think that people should go to therapy. Go to couples counseling, go to therapy, and then also date the person that you're looking to be with. Date them for a little while before you get married. I don't know what it is why people want to get married in 6 months. Kevin Samuels used to talk about that. I think he gave it like 6 months to a year of knowing someone or dating someone, especially when you're older, to know if you're going to get married. In my opinion, I just think those times have changed, man. I think nowadays it's like you need to be with somebody for 3 to 5 years to really know them, know their family, get to know their ins and outs, get to know the way they react. That was one thing I really wanted to get to know about Cass, is how does she react to certain situations? When conflict arises, how does she react? When a great situation happens, something she should be elated or happy about, how does she react? How does she react to adversity? How does she react to surprises, shock, sadness, happiness? What are the ways that she goes about, you know, thinking about those situations and digesting what's happening? How does she think? I wanted to learn her thought patterns. And you can't learn that in 6 months. In 6 months, you know, most of the time you don't even know really anybody. I don't think you can really know someone in 6 months unless you think so, chat. But chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. I don't think you can really get to know somebody in like 6 months to a year. I think it takes a few years. Like, it got to the point where Cass and I, we kind of knew what each other was thinking after about like 5 years. About 5 years time, I could bring up a subject and almost knew what she was going to say or knew what she was thinking. I had this with a couple homies back in the day where I would like know how they would react because I knew them so well, but I'd spent years with them. So I just think it takes a lot of time. And with that time, you can learn how they think, learn how they tick, how they react, and I think that is going to be conducive of a good relationship. Oops, sorry, chat. I keep messing up with the mute button here.
Shared parenting laws decrease divorce rates? Well, it's true, and Kentucky proved it. In 2018, Kentucky passed a 50-50 equal shared parenting law. And since then, divorce rates have slowly declined. 25% declined to be exact. Now, I know what some of these crazy toxic women are out here going to say. Well, that's because women are locked in their marriages. No, that's because instead of walking away and thinking that they can weaponize the family courts to take the kids and get a shit ton of money, women realize that that's no longer possible in the state of Kentucky. So they're staying. They're working on their marriage. They're going to marriage counseling, and they're making it work in the best interest of their families. But the divorce system, where there's no fault and where there's no 50-50, it's easy for a woman to walk away because she knows she's going to get the lion's share of the assets. She's probably going to get majority custody, and she's probably going to get child support. So what's keeping her there? If it's not the perfect situation and it's not Prince Charming like in the movies, she doesn't want to stay. Toxic women will choose their happiness over their family. Men every day will choose their family over their own happiness. And that's the big difference. But when you take away the options of that financial gain of child support and the guarantee of custody, women are choosing to stay. 50-50 equal share parenting laws are not only in the best interest of children, I guess they're also in the best interest of marriages and the nuclear family.
I agree. Shout out to that lady.
Flawless victory.
She reminds me of people like the Dadvocate, Emily King, like women that are on the side of us men because, men are disadvantaged when it comes to the family courts, bro. We get done so dirty in the family courts. Missouri law says pregnant women can't get divorced.
Missouri law says pregnant women can't get divorced. And the fact that this is not the wildest headline I've read this week just shows you what a state we're in. I mean, like the general state of things, not the actual literal state. I don't live in Missouri. But guess what? It's not just Missouri. It's also Texas, Arizona, and Arkansas that have these archaic laws on the books that prevent a woman who is pregnant from getting a divorce. We can agree that none of this is great. It's all terrible. But extra terrible, there's no exceptions for domestic violence situations. What? How much did men hate women that these laws were made, and not just made in one state, but in many, like it was the norm. Fortunately, a state representative, Ashley Owen, out of District 14, is proposing a new law that would essentially make this one not a law, that would undo this ridiculous law, wouldn't allow judges to halt divorces because a woman's pregnant. Just from Missouri, this is just Missouri, a survey of over 10,000 women in the state of Missouri from the years 2007 to 2014 showed that at least 5% of women were abused before or during pregnancy, actively trapping women with their abusers. So if you're in Missouri or Texas or Arkansas or Arizona, are you okay?
That's crazy. I did not know that. I saw that clip and was like, I need to show you guys this. Here's another clip. Project 2025 will eliminate no-fault divorce and women will suffer. Let's see if that's actually going to be the case.
Project 2025.
Good Lord, I can't even hear it. You guys got to start turning your stuff up, dude. Turn your stuff up. Like how can we make it louder, chat? I'd have to like save it and go put it in CapCut and turn it up. I'd like to hear that clip. When you upload clips, people, make sure they're loud. People can hear them. Let's switch gears a little bit here. Let's get into the Twitter and see what I have for you guys. I saw this clip on Joe Rogan and I was like, you know what? This kind of encompasses what's been going on recently. And I've had this thought, but I'll play the clip.
When I was a kid, you could have a Republican friend. Like it was no big deal.
Yes.
It's no big deal. Like, oh, Bobby likes George Bush.
Of
Who
course.
cares? Who gives a
Right.
fuck? You know, you were a supporter of Bill Clinton. He liked George Bush. Nobody cared. Nobody like, fuck you. You know, it wasn't like you're a Nazi. Like I'm a Nazi. I just want lower taxes.
What the fuck are you talking
saying?
about?
How did I become a Nazi?
Dude, it's the craziest thing. I have friends who support Trump. I have friends who support Biden. I have friends.
Do you really have friends who support Biden?
I do.
Come
well,
on.
No. Here's what I do. I have friends. Thank you. That's a good check because that's important. This is important context.
They support the Democratic Party.
I have friends who are loyal to the party.
Yes. When I was
Yeah, see, that's wild to me. I don't know. But it seems like nowadays everything is so political. The dating market's even political. You want to go on a date? Who'd you vote for? Are you a Trump? Are you a conservative? I figured. Yeah, I'm not interested. I remember back in my day when you could go on a date and you wouldn't have to talk about the fascist regime or anything crazy when it come to dating. You could just go on a date with a girl. Bro, when I was younger in dating, politics was never, ever, ever in the conversation. You know how many women ask me, so who did you vote for? I'll tell you right now. None. Not a single woman ever asked me, who did you vote for? Nowadays, though, women care about this in the dating market. It's weird to me. How did we get politics to creep into our personal lives so much that now women won't even date men if they're conservative, if they're liberal? Huh? What happened to just being a good person? What happened to just, being a cool dude? I saw this video. This guy says this guy describes the 3 most cooked male hobbies. So let's get off into this. I haven't watched this, so this will be a cold react. Some of these clips I watched.
If a man takes on one of these 3 hobbies post-grad, you know he is absolutely cooked. If you get offended easily, this reel is not for you. Please keep scrolling. Number 1 is running marathons.
Bro, I hate the people that run. I don't know what it is about people that run. They always think that's their whole personality. Yeah, I'm just going to go run a half marathon, do a triathlon. Like, cool, dude, you put on trainers and run. We don't care, bro.
Won't they do? You see this when people have no clear goal and they're not pursuing their life's work, but they have this masculine urge and need to just do something hard. So they arbitrarily pick running a marathon because it's very concrete. Number 2 is playing pickleball.
Bruh. Man, I know people that do both of these. Run marathons or like runners and play pickleball. God, I get pickleball's fun though, I'm not gonna lie.
If you catch someone getting really into pickleball and they are under the age of 35, they are cooked. This means that they have no outlet for their male drive and competitive energy in their life. And they're not giving this to doing their life's work. Instead, they need a nice, cozy, well-defined, tiny little square to hit a little clinky ball with the paddle. And this is the only way for them to get this energy out into the world. They are cooked. Number 3 is having a hobby of going to new restaurants.
Okay, all right. I'm feeling a little attacked on that one. I like going to new restaurants, okay? I'm a foodie, bro.
If this is your hobby, you are cooked.
I guess I'm
cooked. The only thing you can think of doing for fun is just more hedonism, is simply putting different tasting things in your mouth and exchanging money for that, not even making it yourself. This honestly is super uninspiring and definitely stems from a lack of meaning elsewhere in life.
Bro, I mean, he might be onto something, because I love going out to eat. That's like Cass and I's thing, bro. We love going out to eat. We love going to new restaurants. Like that is my thing, bro. I absolutely love it. It's definitely one of my things, bro. And I saw this little swamp rat. I'm going to show you guys this clip right here. Good Lord. A magnet's worst nightmare. Shots fired! Baby girl, how do you even blow your nose? Looking like a pin cushion. Goodness gracious. A diabolical build.
Yes, I am that woke. And
yeah. Kind of figured that, honey.
Everything is that serious to me.
It's really not, though. The only thing that's serious is probably your mental health condition. Goodness gracious.
Shots fired! Let me explain it to you on this whiteboard here. Let's say that this is the line that you should never cross, right? And a microaggression is right here, right? But everybody is like, it's not that serious. So the line gets moved, right? And then slowly, over time, we are just excusing things and letting that line get pushed and pushed and pushed further and further back.
Imagine having the time to sit there and get mad about microaggressions. Like that metal's starting to get to your face, honey.
And look at where we are. We started here and we ended here. We have ended more extreme than we started because of complicity. And that's not just a hypothetical. That's what's been happening within the last 10 to 20
Where's the data? Where's the statistics? This all feels like feel, felt, found.
years and has resulted in a more extreme society than what we started out with. So little things that...
Wait. So you're telling me you're not extreme? A more extreme society? Are the conservatives the extreme ones? Because I'll keep it a thou wow. Looking at you, this looks extreme to me.
Might seem minor are that much more important to me.
Jesus. What I don't get, man, is how we live in a world now where like this right here is supposed to be normal. This is normal. Like if you look like this, you're the normal one. Huh? How does that even work, dude? Where that's normal. Bro, that is it. To me, that is insanity at work right there. What are we even talking about, bro? If that's normal, dude, what am I? Do I need to start putting stuff in my face? just don't get it, bro. Loki, am I right or am I right, dude? It's like we live in a world where Sydney Sweeney's a radical, but the people with septum rings, piercings all over their face, orange and pink hair, they're the normal ones? Really? That's where we're at right now, chat? Like, come on, dude. It's absolutely ridiculous. Ain't that right, Lokes? But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It was good to have you guys out, man. Until next time, peace.